straight to our top story. Financial turbulence has hit Jet Airways badly, and this time the danger is lurking over India's premier airline that has informed its employees that it cannot sustain itself beyond 60 days unless cost cutting is undertaken. Now, this measure includes salary cuts of the employees. In back-to-back meetings in Delhi and Mumbai, Jet Airways' chairman, Naresh Goyal, has told employees that the financial health of the airline is in bad shape and some drastic measures are needed urgently to continue its existence in the market. The management has blamed rising fuel prices and major market share gains by rival Indigo for its falling financial position. This information has already triggered protests within the company, clearly showing that employees have not accepted the chairman's notice, which demands a cut of 25% from their salary with no refund at least for 2 years, not just salary cuts. Jet Airways has asked its engineering department to leave from the company itself, but it's not just the engineering department. The company is planning to lay off people from other departments as well, such as cabin crew and ground handling departments. Now, this fiscal year is not showing good results for the airline industry as a whole. Jet Airways has reported a loss of over $100 million this year. And before this, Indigo, India's biggest airline, has also reported a fall of more than 90% in its profits at $4 million only. Jet has 2 consecutive years of profits in 2016 and 2017, keep in mind. Now, a few years ago, India's airline industry was flying high. A booming economy made India one of the fastest growing and most competitive aviation markets in the world. A new airline, Vistara, started flying in Indian skies, but now the situation is completely different. Vistara has adopted the business models of low-cost carriers like Indigo and SpiceJet, cutting down fares and selling food and beverage items separately. Now, the biggest culprit for airlines is rising crude oil prices, which is hovering above the $70 to a barrel mark and had touched even $80 recently. Aviation turbine fuel, or ATF, costs have soared this year, and on average, fuel costs are around 40 to 50% higher in India than in other countries. This is because of aviation turbine fuel, ATF, that is taxed high and is taxed by states individually. It has been kept out of GST, or the goods and services tax, so far. Taxes on aviation turbine fuel are as high as 35%, making India one of the costliest places in the world to run a fleet of airplanes. Airlines are also weighed down by overcapacity. Indigo alone has an order book of 400 planes. Now, this forces it to go for frequent low-fare deals. The airlines have now started rationalizing routes and trimming down staff to stave off a financial collapse. Away from that, a vocal critic of China's government has disappeared without a trace. Chinese security forces strong-armed their way into Sun Wenguang's house in the middle of a phone interview with a US-funded television network. Sun is in his mid-80s. Sun's last words before he was taken were, "It's illegal for you to come to my home. I have my freedom of speech." China is intensifying efforts to silence the critics of its policies as the ruling Communist Party aggressively nurtures a cult of personality around President Xi Jinping. Sun had written an open letter to Xi last month that criticized China's checkbook diplomacy in Africa. Sun released the letter as Xi Jinping embarked on a trip to Africa. Remember, Sun is one of China's oldest activists and was being kept under regular surveillance. He was a co-signer of the Pro-Democracy Manifesto Charter 08, a censored document that landed the co-author and Nobel Peace Prize winner Liu Xiaobo in prison. Liu died last year, becoming the first Nobel winner to die in custody since Nazi Germany. Now, weather stations across the world is touching new records with heat waves becoming the new normal. Several countries are battling soaring temperatures, raging wildfires, and if a recent study is to be believed, the situation will only get worse in the coming years. And according to studies, it is human-caused climate change that is behind the soaring temperatures. It is a result of the Earth being trapped in gases from burning fossil fuels. In Asia, an intense heat wave continued to blanket Japan, with the mercury going up to as high as 40.2 degrees Celsius in some areas. An unprecedented heat wave has also affected the daily lives of people of South Korea, with Seoul touching 39.6 degrees Celsius, the highest ever since 1907. Spain is currently battling a raging wildfire in the forest of Nerva. The tourists visiting Italy too have been held off guard, with the thermometer hitting 38 degrees Celsius in many parts of the country. Authorities have issued a red alarm for 18 cities, including Florence, Rome, Venice, and Verona. Meanwhile, Christmas has arrived early for London. Amidst the rising mercury, a department store has opened its Christmas store for the early birds. In Berlin, it is a newly opened ice bar that has come to the rescue of several Berliners as they battle a temperature of over 30 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, over 55 lives were lost in Canada due to a heat wave and heat wave related incidents so far this year. Heat waves simmered across the United States for nearly 2 weeks, with 37 U.S. states recording an all-time high temperature. And in a first of its kind, a study published in a journal called the PLOS Medicine has estimated the number of heat waves related deaths in 412 communities across 20 countries by 2080. The study was headed by Professor Yuming Guo of the Monash University. It found that compared to the period between 1971 and 2020, and under extreme scenario, the Australian cities of Brisbane, Sydney and Melbourne would see a 471% increase in heat wave deaths. The study's result suggests stricter mitigation policies should be applied to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. It suggests lower greenhouse gas emissions are linked with fewer deaths due to heat waves. Now, picking up litter while jogging in groups known as plogging has become popular in Sweden. One among many lifestyle fads to come out of the Nordic countries, plogging is now catching attention in other parts of the world as well. WION's Nagin Singh joins some ploggers in India's capital, New Delhi. Here's a glimpse of how jogging has acquired a deeper meaning and has become a social event.
Every Tuesday morning, a group of 15 to 20 visitors to this New Delhi park have something else too on their minds apart from jogging, and that is to keep the park neat and clean. Looking for trash in the bush, they stop by and collect ice cream sticks, plastic wrappers and the litter. And believe it or not, just in 30 minutes time, in a run for barely 2 kilometers, the joggers have 20 bags full of trash. Known as plogging, this Swedish workout trend involves people collecting trash while jogging. The term plogging is a mix of jogging and the Swedish term plocka up, which means to pick up. Delhi-based marathoners Ripu Daman and Christine Pemberton and their group of runners picked up the trend in early 2018 and branded it as Ploggers of India.
We started off as runners, but we've evolved into a community of citizens across India who take responsibility of the trash situation. So, and then we renamed ourselves earlier this year Ploggers of India because we saw this cool concept called plogging, and that fitted really well. That's exactly what we're doing, just picking up trash while we are training and running. So that's what we did.
The Swedes came up with this idea to do away with the procrastination over jogging and healthy ways of living. The trend was clubbed with the social cause, and then there was plogging.
When you're a runner or a walker or an outdoors person, what is the point of running past the rubbish and ignoring it? You might as well do your little bit and pick it up. So when you put plog with jogging, it becomes plogging. And so that's what we do. I mean, this is the park we train in, so there's not much point ignoring the rubbish. We just spend a bit of time and tidy up our world, basically.
As per a Sweden-based fitness app that helps the ploggers track their activities, just half an hour of jogging coupled with picking trash helps them to burn 288 calories as compared to 235 calories by jogging alone.
Just within 20 minutes of plogging, these 15 people have collected at least 30 kilo of waste from a small park in New Delhi. And this is the situation that they're fighting, or they're trying to come over and make Delhi a clean Delhi.
The social message associated with pickup while you jog is sure to attract others in the days to come. After all, it's a double benefit for the early birds, a healthier lifestyle in a cleaner surrounding. With Nagin Singh in New Delhi, Bureau Report, WION.
Musicians and dancers from across continents wowed the audience as the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo Ceremony began its annual run. Over 1,000 performers from around the world created a spectacle of music, dance and light at the Edinburgh Castle. And with that, we wrap up the show and leave you with those visuals. This is Krishna Kumar signing off.